Now, I did not get on my plane this morning from Buffalo, New York, where, my God, it's still snowing. I can't take it anymore. We have like 7 months of snow,
I know, right?
1 month of sleet. What's left?
Don't ask that.
I don't think I can find my sandals if I even tried. I don't even think I own any. I didn't come here to make you feel like garbage and then you leave for the rest of your day and think like, oh my God, I feel like garbage. What's this guy talking about? But we want to talk about prevailing right now for the last few minutes. And strategy for what you can do when you go back to your district. Because there is a strategy, and there's only one strategy. I'm not going to hit you with 10 strategies. There is only one strategy. And you can either implement it, or not implement it, or maybe kind of think about implementing it, but you're not sure. And feel free to call me, and I'll walk you through it. I've got a phone. I'm not allergic to the phone. Call me anytime. I know, I work 15-hour days, 19 hours with it. But I love it. I feel good.
So what's your number?
It's going to be right at the end. Yeah, I'm already getting texts right now. I didn't even share my number. So Rebecca and I share tasks that will triumph for every position in your district, for every leader, every educator, and it will help student achievement be addressed appropriately because you're going to tackle something. And we found that if you can keep an eye out for red flags, and it's not rocket science, but that's one of the things that hundreds of educators and school leaders shared with us. If they only followed their sixth sense. But everybody nowadays says, well, you have to have data, you have to have data, you have to have proof. No, I got a gut, and it's telling me this ain't right. Leaders and educators wished that they followed their sixth sense a little bit more than people don't think we should follow it. If you find gossip, you need to address it. You cannot ignore it. School leaders and educators tell us that their biggest regret is when they don't address it. And they let it go thinking it might go away, but then it gets bigger and bigger, and the monster starts to be uncontrollable. And we need to talk about ideas, not people. Your allies that you gather, and I want you to think about this differently. I'm not saying your fellow school board members. I'm not saying people you meet at this conference. I'm not saying your close friends. I'm saying school boards within your region, state, and another state that you reach out to create connections that will make schooling better for our kids everywhere. And all it takes is a friend who knows a friend in a state who holds that position, and you connect with them. And all it takes is a Google Hangout for you to jump on and say, hey, my name's John, I'm from Illinois, I'm having some of these issues, I need a support system, and 9.999 times out of 10, they're going to support you. They will. And that's what a PLN is. That's what your professional learning network is. It's when you walk away from this annual conference and you do things, you do business differently to help your students. And that means go out of your boundaries, go out of your comfort zone, and it's very healthy to go outside of your own school board or leadership team to get other insights. Because you're going to learn things, and you know this, I'm not preaching you, you're going to learn things you never would have thought of just because you reached out and they have a different lens on what you're talking about. And they're like, wow, what do you think of this? And you're like, I never thought of it that way. You don't have to be right. You don't have to fight for control. How many times do we stick to a position because we think it's right, but it causes war? And there are peaceful ways to get to the bottom of a decision where you can, in consensus building, you can do it and get there. You ever see this guy? You ever see this video? I'm not going to play it because we're running out of time, but I want to tell you one thing. What, you wanted me to play it? What, do you want to stay past 5 o'clock? People are going to kick me out. They're going to give me the hook. All right, I'll play it. I love this guy. All right, all right.
We'll bring you on into the temps, and we're all doing okay. Wow, 750 degrees in Gila Bend right now. Now, I'm not authorized to evacuate our two buildings. Yeah, Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, they don't look good either. It's a total loss. Get out. The safe spots seem to be changing so far, but you're sort of surrounded by some pretty intense heat. So, again, I'm not your dad, but I would get out. About this temperature, there's probably nothing left up there. So don't even bother looting up there.
Did you catch that last, the one that had like 2,900 degrees? He said, I think steel boils at that temperature. The point that Rebecca and I make when we show that video is that there are a number of leadership characteristics and strengths that weatherman uses. That video did not go viral because it was funny. That video is actually used to train people to talk about positive leadership and what happens when the going gets tough. And by the way, we have like a myriad of 10 or 12 videos that we use to train. We can certainly share those with you. Just, again, drop me the email when we get to the end of that. Can't control everything, though. You're going to get that temperature when steel boils, and you're going to feel like, oh my God, what do I do when steel boils? We talk about EQ. And there's only one thing that will bring EQ to your district when you talk about adversity. And it's going to be my John Madden swan song at the end, where I have the X's and O's and a game plan for you. You know this. You know this. But how do you build trust during times of adversity, or times that adversity is going to heat up? Not 2,900 degrees, but sometimes it feels like it. We are here to plant trees, not fruit. The fruit will grow if you think about my call to action that I'm going to leave with you momentarily. Your colleagues mean the world to you. Reach out to them. I just had a Google Hangout with a complete stranger the other day. He said, Rick, I heard about the work that you do. Can you call me? I said, yeah, let's just do a video conference. The gentleman was in tears because he is no longer going to be a principal. His contract was not renewed. You know why? Because the board members consisted of relatives from his ex-wife. So how do we redefine ourselves? How do we redefine ourselves? In our book, we talk about a superintendent who had a DWI, forever out of the superintendency, because sometimes, not all the times, sometimes education can be the most unforgiving profession on the planet. Yet we forgive kids every day as much as we can because they're kids. But why don't we do that for adults? And she's a terrific leader. She made a mistake. Success isn't going to the top. It's doing what is best at any level, where you are, in any district, in any organization. You know that. You want me to go back to that?
Yeah.
I don't mean to go so quickly. My question to you is this. You don't have to answer it. How vulnerable can you be? How vulnerable can you be to tell your story and your position? And when Rebecca and I travel together, we tell our stories and positions, and I started you off with something that was very vulnerable. You saw those 3 bottles. I let my hair down. Whatever's left. Now, I'm not asking you to be vulnerable like The Bachelor. I'm asking you to reflect on where you fit into your organization and open your mind to help others open their minds. We live through the core of human stories. Human stories, that's what we bond with one another over. You're doing great. You're doing your best. And you know what? When you tuck yourself in the sheets at night, if you can just say, I did my best today, even though I feel like I'm getting kicked around. If you can do your best, that will increase the endorphins that go through your body and your brain and make you feel healthier, even when stuff is going really terribly. There is research on affirmations, and the school leaders and educators we talked to across the nation said that they actually feel better when they take a few minutes out of their day, not to boost their ego, I'm great, I'm wonderful, but just to think to yourselves, I'm going to wake up this morning, I'm going to do the best thing that I can for kids. I'm going to help those people in my organization, those adult learners who are struggling and they need me. I'm going to go out there and do it because I can do it. And I'm going to affirm that I'm a powerful leader who can help others. Those are the affirmations, not the ego-driven ones. If you can make one promise to me, the other one's a task and a call to action in a moment. This is a promise. It's a 12-minute video. You may have seen this. This is Haley Bartholomew. She ran a gratitude project for 365 days as her TED Talk. Get the Kleenex out. Get the Kleenex out. If you share this with your staff, not just at the beginning of the year, not somewhere in the middle for a superintendent's conference day or a staff development day, maybe, but even if you ended the school year and sent off your staff with a B12 shot to make them feel like $1 million and that we can't take ourselves so seriously and there's things that we just love about life, this woman's going to do it. This woman's going to bring your staff together in 12 minutes, and she's going to be able to give you a reflective component, not only as a board. I recommend school boards doing this together, but your leadership team, your building-based teams, do this. It's going to give you a B12 shot, I promise, or your money back from this session, even though I didn't charge you.